Hello everyone, how are you doing? Well, looks like everyone survived the eclipse. Yellowstone didn't go off, the sky didn't crack, and besides, well, for my case, witnessing what would happen if the proverbial kimchi hit the fan, so to speak, you know what I mean? I think we saw a little part of that yesterday. It was incredible. I mean, we're talking traffic, folks, that would make the 405 look like nursery school. Seriously. I had the opportunity to witness it firsthand, and it wasn't pretty. I can tell you this. I think I ran across about 100,000 a-holes that all decided to come in Wyoming at the same time. We saw things, folks, that you wouldn't believe, how people were acting. And I got to tell you, when it comes to daredevils, stunt drivers, you know, people that really go out there and let their lives, you know, on the edge, typically a lot of them come up short in that, you know what I'm saying? But seriously, we saw people, no disregard for the laws. Forget about it. And it was quite amazing to me, millennials and you 20-somethings, folks, if these are the people that are going to be running the country in the next 20 years, uh-oh, that's all I got to say. Because apparently they don't know how to drive, they don't know how to read, they don't know which side of the road, and they don't apparently understand that, you know, people are going to get like really PO'd if you like all of a sudden think that you can be driving on the other side of the highway, right? And you have another pickup truck, in this case, coming at you head on. And you know what, folks? I witnessed it. We sat there and watched this, and these people were not going to let this guy in. Listen, I can understand about being PO'd. I got PO'd a couple of times. And, but yeah, it was a day of insanity. So, as Lavette and I were talking, Mercury in retrograde sucks. That's all I got to say. And while I'm at it, I got a few emails that I owe people to. Alan, you're one. So, all right. So I thought, well, you know what? You've seen probably how many countless pictures, right? I mean, yeah, that's what everybody was up there to do, was to film and witness the first eclipse that totality had traversed our country in 99 years. So, but I went up there with a little different agenda. It wasn't so much to witness it. Now, it was very cool, I have to say. It really was. But I was there to look at what everybody else was seeing but not watching. So, I had some great cameras, great light, folks. I got to tell you what, it's amazing what happens when our star and the photons are interrupted, and how we can see the lens effect, the concave of light. Light will seek, much like water, any way the least path of resistance. And so the light was just spectacular. And of course, you know, great shots. Now, I want to make a comment on what I started witnessing. There were things flying around up there at near totality. Saw a couple of meteorites going through. Actually recorded a couple of satellites. So it's amazing when you begin to dim the sun, what begins to come out. Now, I want to draw your attention to two things. Number one, this is a great example when lens flare works to your advantage. because it will actually show the science behind what's happening with lens flares. Is, again, when you look at a camera isn't just a single lens. There's an apparatus behind there, the whole process. Modern day cameras now are digitized, not like the old days when I was growing up, where you could actually go out and get yourself 16 millimeter film. So notice this over here. This is going to be very, very strange as we go on. And so while we had the telescopes going, we had other cameras going, I'm out there with this camera that I have had, and it was designed to really shoot aerial, photography. And I started noticing some really odd things coming up. This object was clearly an object. And again, seeing the lens flare, you can see exactly where we are in the progression of the totality event. And here we're getting at 99.5%, and you can really see what happens. This could be an anomaly of the camera. It's not to say, but there was some really interesting stuff going on around the sun. Now, I witnessed an effect that I had never seen before. When you start seeing flat light, it really has an effect. And when we were nearing totality, through the glasses I had on, and when I was not looking directly at the sun, I put on my polarized glasses, you could actually see, folks, light in waves. It was almost kind of disorientating, and particularly as it began to reach right there at the zenith. And it was just very strange. At one point, got this magnificent effect on the camera. And again, the camera's picking up the intensity of the light. It was only a couple of frames on this one. You can see this object down here, tracked it all the way across. Here, I thought that this one was really cool. It really gives you a really good effect. Again, light source, lens effect. And notice, I'm telling you, this pyramid began to show up. I could see it in the camera. And I'm sitting here with the people that I'm with, my wife and I, and I'm telling them, I'm saying there is something really strange going on. So continue to keep the cameras rolling. This is probably one of the coolest effects that out of the pictures I got, and you can see this. It's a perfect pyramid. Almost looks like a portal, right? Portals are not necessarily always round. And you can see the progression of the eclipse as we continue to go. And then talk about the Hathor, Isis. Tell me as we go along, and I'm just going to take these in sequence for you. What are you seeing? I kept on getting some sort of weird... Now, by the way, this is not a refraction of the camera. This was something. You could see it when it came by. A lot of strange stuff up there. But I kept on getting this weird impression that, you could say something that's been around for a very long time. I have not seen any other pictures like this on the web. So, like I said, I went up there for a specific purpose that I didn't talk about, and it came to pass. Seek and ye shall find, It's the ask principle. Check this out, folks. You can see The little one over there at the 10 o'clock position, coming right on through. Now check that out. Does not, and I went and I looked. Go there and look for yourself, but look at Isis Hathor's emblem. Does this not look like that? Write in your comments. I mean, obviously, it's all subject to interpretation to what the individual sees, but this is something, and I began to see this effect. I mean, it became very defined, and I mean, we're reaching close to totality as we're going through on this. Look at this, folks. I mean, I'd be curious to hear some of your, what your impressions are, what you're seeing from that third eye perspective. Check that out. There's that friend. I'm telling you, whatever that was, it seemed to have friends. And I think this is one that the three elements, the three houses, right? This was what I was seeing. I mean, look at this, folks. Is this just not bizarre? Yeah, you can say, well, it's just the light effect. Yeah, of course it's the light effect. But remember, ancient culture saw total eclipse in a whole different light. It was a portal to the world that's there, but we never see. And then again, you can see another object coming through. Now, this, I stopped. I could see this. Listen, we saw, I don't know, they're lights, right? Are they moving on their own? Who knows? But this one, as you can see how big it really was. Yeah. And again, lots of these. Now, I particularly had the camera positioned in here because I wanted to get this flat light effect. It was strange. It really was. It was like being in a 2D cartoon. And just the effects you're getting off of the sun, you can see how the color shift has already taken place. Definitely much more to the red shift. And this popped up. It was very odd, very strange. I don't know if it was a lens flare, but could be. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your comments and your impression. And hey, send me your pictures if you got some and some of your stories. All right, folks, be kind to one another. We'll talk soon.